I got into van life accidentally, if intention can ever be accidental. I had spent years sort of following all those programs on tiny houses and the efficiency and the quality of design, and it just rang true to me. And then I moved into an apartment that was 350 square feet and had to live in tiny house. When you move into that smallest space, you have to decide what to give away or throw away in order to buy something new. So you start buying less stuff. Can you hear that? That's the breeze. That's like what van life gives you. You hear nature, you feel nature. It's not like you just hear the air conditioner running. So anyway, my mom got sick. I had this feeling of horrible doom. I woke up one morning just feeling awful. I tried to figure out what it was. I decided that it was because my mom, instead of deep philosophical political conversations, it was how's the weather? Oh, I don't want to keep you kind of conversations. So, and I'd gone home when my dad got sick, and my mom was in her 90s. So I decided, you know what, it's time for a new adventure anyway. I gave the 1 month notice, I packed up my stuff, and I came home east. And the intention was that I would book a bunch of people matching pet fashion shows all around the country. So I spent a year designing the line and organizing the shows and organizing the influencer dogs that were going to be models in the shows, and hooking up with press in each of the cities so that I could promote the rescues that the dogs were going to promote. It was this whole big thing. And then COVID hit. So all that got canceled. But being home alone, I'm not alone, I was with my sister here in my mom's house and with my mom. And thank God, because if I would have waited, I would have had to find a way home, because she did end up dying. But that's rushing the story. So I'm home and COVID's there and I'm terrified, and I have no idea if it's going to be like the 1018 or 1918 pandemic, and if we'd ever get out of it, and what would life be like again. I mean, all those things ran through my brain because I'm a writer. When you're a writer, you build scenarios around everything. But I ended up watching all these van life stations, and I had gone to one of those shows I was doing, and I'd seen all these people pouring out of this van, and it had windows and it was tall enough to walk around inside, and just people kept coming out of this van, and I was like, wow, that could make a tiny house. And so then with COVID, I started looking around YouTube, and I found this whole van life world. I Googled to see if I could afford it. I started, and that's what got me into it. As soon as I realized I could afford it, and that it would be the appropriate time suck to keep me from focusing on the possibility of death from a pandemic, or from my mother's, towards the end, I would go into a room and just see if she was still breathing, because you don't know. It's I oddly became consumed with death. I have a cold in my chest. Do I have cancer? It's weird how when you're semi-wacko like me, how things hit you. But anyway, back to the story we're actually telling here. So I built out the van, and I learned all these great skills. And when I get stuck, I got stuck at my first boondocking trip. I was at Rabbit Heads Bay in Upper Peninsula, and my back doors wouldn't close. How you have the latch hole and the latch, and it goes like that? Well, this one went like that. And so, how do I fix that? Because I built the van, it wasn't like this, what do I do? It was I can fix this. It's I can fix anything. After my mother passed, the house has not been renovated they were never big renovators, let's put it that way. If something broke, my father fixed it. He fixed it the way men often fix things. Which is there's a word, I think it's Jimmy rig or something like that. But if it didn't break, he didn't fix it. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed. And one of the things was that the shower was a wreck. The tile looked like it was leaking through it. There was like plaster cancer around the faucet. My little sister had said, she's a realtor, she said, "Oh my God, there's so much mold. I can see it. It's going through the entire attic. It's probably in the closet." It just went off. So I decided that like, if I'm going to live here, I'm not going to die of black mold poisoning. So I decided I would rip the whole thing apart. So I ripped it all apart. I put a new shower pan in, a new drain, a new faucet for the toilet. I put the toilet back in. I redid the tile on the walls. There was not an ounce of mold, not an ounce of water. It was beautiful. But it was a big adventure. But I learned stuff. And now I'm like, honestly, I can fix anything. I've always resisted the thought of like fixing anything in my car. Like if the carburetor, I don't even know what a carburetor is. But if something broke in my car, it's like my first reaction is take it to a place. But now I'm kind of like, oil change, I bet I could probably do that myself. And all these people do it on the ProMaster website. All the men don't have a problem saying, "I can do that. He-Man, hee-hee." Sorry, that was terrible. Oh, sorry. But we can do it too. So anyway, I'm getting totally off track. The whole topic of this video is supposed to be how I got into van life. So that's pretty much how I got into it. I got into it with a desire for a tiny house, not knowing that putting that out there in the universe all those years would turn into finding it in an area I didn't expect. And then like finding it and saying, I can do this. And like, not going into like, why are the reasons I can't do it? Like I didn't go into that at all, or else I would have stopped. Because once it arrived, I said, holy crap, what have I done? So like the eyes are bigger than the stomach is not a bad thing, because once it arrives, you're just forced to go forward. So I really like recommend letting your eyes be bigger than the capabilities you have. So I suppose that is everything. I have to take a sip, I'm sorry. I suppose that is everything to say about how I got into van life. And it's been an adventure ever since. And I expect it'll be an adventure the rest of my life, because mine is a vacation home. I have a home base, and I'm retired, so I have the privilege. It's like, I saw this thing on Facebook that I loved. It was like, when you're retired, life is perfect. You have your own apartment, you get a really big allowance, or some people like me, I don't get a big allowance. I get a small allowance, Social Security. I forget the rest of them. I have to find that. Maybe I'll post it. But it was listing like 6 things that you dream of when you're a young person in high school that you now have as a senior. Oh, you don't have to go to work. You can sleep late. You don't have, it's all perfect. It's like, so if you're not retired, you probably will be eventually. Now is the time to like start thinking. Buying a van now, I actually wouldn't, unless you have the ability to buy it and start going, I wouldn't recommend it. Like, there's a new van out by Chevy, and it's electric. And I have a feeling in the next 5 years, the electric van world is just going to be amazing. But the Chevy is very square and electric. But these early electric things don't have enough capacity to like take you on long trips. But you start planning now. Start like the first thing you have to do is decide, okay, what are my needs? Do I love to hike? Or maybe you don't know if you like to hike. Maybe you need to start taking camping trips to see if you like to hike. Like there's a place called Ricketts Glen. I think it's Ricketts Glen. And it's in Pennsylvania. Like I'm in Pennsylvania. So these are like close to me places. And I'm sure there's close to you places. And you can just go there for the day and just take this walk all the way around these waterfalls that are so beautiful. And it was really like, it was sort of a magical moment because all these Amish girls in their, Amish outfits were like walking around the falls, and you just felt this like energy of birds dancing. It was just the coolest thing. So like where are you in life? Where do you want to be in life? Finding your way there just simply means making some plot points. It's kind of like I'm a screenwriter. If I have to know my ending in order to know how to get there. So in your life, you want to pick that ending point. Maybe you want to hit 65 and have a van and be ready to hit the road for 2 months because you won't have work anymore. Then maybe you need to buy that van by the time you're 63. So you have 2 years to convert it. And maybe you want to spend now till then to sort of like figure out what your vibe is. Do you want to do the bike thing? There's some people in van life that just love, the whole van is built so they can go biking. They put the bed really high, the bikes go underneath. And there's some people that love to hike, and then and they don't want all the conveniences of home, and they have like ways figured out where they really enjoy the intricacies of surviving on next to nothing. It's like totally depends on who you are. I'm a glamper. I'm somebody that wanted all the comforts of home with a feeling of lots of space with a tiny home vibe so that I could sit in here and write and watch TV at night on my iPad and adventure in this new territory. So like, maybe there's this much time you want to spend deciding what would be the perfect van for you. Like if you get the small one, there's bigger ones too. I think they get like 1 foot, maybe 2 foot longer. But if you're solo and you go for this small size, you're dealing with a 6 by 10 foot space. Like you want to have every square inch functional to what your needs are. I needed space. So I shrunk the proportions of everything. 18-inch counter, had to hunt down a refrigerator that was only 15 inches deep. 13-inch counter over here. The bed's a little shorter than a big twin and a short full. And I have a shower. So, it all depends. But so you have the time. It's like start the plan now. The more steps you take forward, the more able you are to reach the end, because each of those steps is a victory, and each of those victories fumes your passion, and passion drives life. If you want to achieve anything, it has to have passion behind it. So anyway, that's my philosophy on my journey into van life, and maybe how you could do it if you're interested, or whatever your dream is. That's like a good roadmap to a dream. So thank you for watching.